We lost a basketball legend, an NBA icon, one of the most fierce competitors the world of sports has ever known, a major contributor to the success, rise, and the history of the NBA. Jerry West made his tremendous impacts felt around the league the last 7 decades, a basketball genius with an impeccable passion for the game, the perfect person to exemplify courage, overcame colossal disasters, excelling under pressure, bouncing back from excruciating circumstances, making his way to the top, the countless of Game 7 defeats, whether by a single possession or overmatched, an all-time basketball great, finally reached basketball glory by his 12th season, captured the illustrious, well-earned 1972 title, retired considered as one of the 5 greatest players during the NBA's first 28 years of existence. West later transitioned as head coach for the Lakers, then became a scout, and finally a general manager, responsible for the dynasty of Showtime to bring in the most dominant player of the 21st century and seeing through the greatness of 17-year-old Kobe Bryant, capped off the Lakers' 2-decade run of excellence, convincing the best player in the game to remain with purple and gold when circumstances got tough, and putting the Memphis Grizzlies franchise on the map after being laughed at during their Vancouver disaster, to taking his talents to Golden State's front office, winning more titles, creating more dynasties. West even helped change the cursed Clippers franchise around, from laughingstock to playoff competitor. Mr. Jerry West became the greatest front office executive the NBA has seen, with an absolute true passion for the game, as authentic and genius a human being the world will ever see. 8 decades of basketball excellence, from his playing days at East Bank High School in West Virginia during the 1950s to becoming an all-star every season of his NBA career, all with one franchise, the Los Angeles Lakers. A true basketball savant. Condolences to the West family, the entire NBA community, and everybody who's had the pleasure to know Mr. Jerry West. Before there was the Jordan and Kobe mentality, all-time greats that were willing to do whatever it took to win at all costs. A kid from Chilean, West Virginia, born during the Great Depression era, May 28, 1938, the youngest of 6 children, a tough upbringing, dealt and overcame many personal tragedy. His older brother David killed in North Korea when Jerry was just 12, a touching moment that stuck with him forever. Cope with an abusive father, his childhood activities, going hunting, fishing, and shooting hoops outside for hours from every possible angle, ignoring mud, snow, and any other crazy weather conditions until his mother begged him to come home for dinner. The game of basketball being his escape, driven by hard work, dedication, and fearful of failure, his personal depression never bothered him in his 14-year NBA career. The teenage hoops phenom became a household name in his state, took his talents to University of West Virginia. Zeke from Cabins Creek, undefeated record as a freshman, averaged 25 points, 13 rebounds from sophomore to senior season, led his team to the title game as a junior, became the 2nd pick of the 1960 draft, Oscar Robertson #1, both co-captain of the Olympic team that won gold medal. After the franchise relocation from Minneapolis, West became Los Angeles' first ever draft pick, his role very limited as a rookie, having more established guys, but good enough to become an all-star, 2nd best player on his team after captain Elgin Baylor by his 2nd season. His points per game increased by almost double. Him and Elgin Baylor averaged over 68 points combined, 2 top 5 players in the game. Lost his first of 8 NBA Finals defeats by heartbreaking fashion to the better, more complete Boston Celtics. Teammate Frank Sylvie missed the game winner in regulation. Out of several Game 7 heartbreaks, West made it back to the finals, 1963, 65, 68, and 69, all defeats to Boston. West posted monster numbers, but his team never had enough to take out the dynasty of his era. West laid everything on the line, averaged 33, 6, and 5 in 38 finals contests worst deceased, always played his best, a master getting to his spots, never made an excuse, extremely devastated by his defeats. His entire hoops tenure, West simply obsessed with basketball perfection. Still remains the only player on a losing team winning Finals MVP, battled through a bad hamstring the '69 series. Teammate Will Chamberlain bruised knee, had beef with coach so bad, Butch Van Bertikov refused to let Wilt back in the game late Game 7. But West, a man possessed, scored 42 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists, single-handedly led to a near comeback before an improbable Don Nelson shot bounced off the back rim and in, resulted in the final nail in the coffin, overcoming massive pain and halftime ejections. Pioneer sports doctor Robert Kierlin called West the craziest competitor he's ever seen. Even the Celtics stars were astonished with Jerry's brilliance. Bill Russell called him the greatest player in the game, and John Havlicek told West, "I love you, and I just hope you get a championship." The guy he felt most sorry for those playoffs, the highest degree of honor ever received from a guy on the losing team, earning everybody's respect. Nobody deserved the ring as much as Jerry West. Emotionally spent and dejected, losing all 6 finals to Boston. Already in his early 30s, his superstar teammates aging, Baylor missed 28 games the '70 season with knee soreness. Wilt injured his knee 9th game of the season. Out till the playoffs, West led his team to 46 wins, nearly won MVP, went back to the finals, a historical legendary Game 3 performance, drained a 60-foot bomb, sending the game to overtime on one of the craziest shots you'll ever see. The bucket he earned his nickname Mr. Clutch. Knicks superstar center Willis Reed went down with injury Game 5, but a motivated New York team fought harder. The courageous tunnel walkout in Game 7 gave the whole Knicks extra motivation, leaving West empty-handed for the 7th time in 9 seasons he reached the finals. Super humiliated, there was also a time Jerry West thought about walking away from basketball for good after so many finals defeats. Then came new head coach and former Celtics great Bill Sharman, with his revolutionary offense, moved West to point guard, allowing the 33-year-old to lead the NBA in assists, averaged 27, 4, and 10. The '72 Lakers proceeded to win a league best 69 games, including a record-breaking 33 consecutive wins, a record that still stands today. Convincingly beat the Knicks in the finals, a sign of relief. Even with that one illustrious title, it never took away the painful grief of all those finals losses. Arguably the sweetest championship all time from any all-time great, West finally retired as a player in 1974 following contract disputes with owner Jack Kent Cooke, stepping away, making an incredible 12 All-NBA teams, 5 All-Defensive teams. Steals weren't recorded till his final season, where he still averaged 2.6 a game, ended up the greatest player to never win MVP, finished second place 4 times, still the most career points in the finals. His playoff points per game average just behind Jordan and Durant, with at least 100 games minimum played, posting career numbers of 27, nearly 6 and 7, very efficient, masterful shooter, exceptionally quick, a great athlete, an all-time great defender, a stone-cold-blooded assassin in crunch time, remembered as the logo. After his playing days, his basketball greatness was only getting started. Unsure of his future for a couple years, West finally settled an agreement, becoming the Lakers head coach for the 76-77 season. Team went from missing the playoffs 2 straight years and finishing below 500 to winning 53 games. 3 total seasons coaching Kareem before staying with the franchise as a consultant and scout. As new owner Jerry Buss brought the team, West later became general manager in '82, portrayed in Winning Time as overly nervous during big games. West Lakers finally defeated the Celtics in the '85 finals, 16 long years since '69. Jerry hated Boston so much he refused to step foot there. Part of a legendary dynasty after the franchise small slump in the 90s, with Magic forcing early retirement, West recruited the most dominant big man in the game, Shaquille O'Neal, in '96. Told him about the teenage phenom by the name of Kobe Bryant, alongside Diesel, will win multiple championships. Jerry's incredible vision and master evaluating talent, most responsible for creating the greatest 1-2 punch the league has ever seen, orchestrating the greatest offseason in NBA history. It only took West a short time to realize Kobe was going to be the best player in the '96 draft, trading him for established big men Vlade Divac. West was approaching 60 years old when he spent time with the 17-year-old kid out of Lower Marion. Decade and a half later, after Bryant won his 5th title, when asked whether he's the greatest Laker all time, Kobe responds, Jerry's body of work and the titles he's been responsible for, in his opinion, he thinks Jerry West the greatest Laker all time. As Del Harris wasn't playing young Kobe much, West made the polarizing decision to trade multiple-time All-Star Eddie Jones alongside Eldon Campbell for B.J. Armstrong, J.R. Reed, and sharpshooter Glenn Rice, allowing Kobe to be the full-time starter without concerns. Bryant truly became a young superstar as West anticipated, hired the perfect head coach Phil Jackson, saw his team cap off an incredible three-peat, later gave his GM spot to Mitch Kupchak, became a consultant. After being employed by the Lakers for over 40 years, took over for the Grizzlies, the biggest joke team at the time, a disgusting first 7 seasons, no more than winning 23 games. West's first year, team improved to 28 wins, hired the great Hubie Brown, a controversial decision given his age, led Memphis to relevancy, won 50 games in 04, Brown won Coach of the Year with 3rd year power forward Pau Gasol, West named Executive of the Year to no surprise, the first time many people truly became Memphis Grizzlies fans after all that incredible success. Many thought West was crazy to take a job on a struggling franchise, but the greatest basketball mind absolutely worked his magic. In the 03 draft, the Grizz just missed out on #1 pick LeBron James to the Cleveland Cavaliers, forced to trade their 2nd pick to Detroit due to a trade 7 years back. Memphis made 3 straight postseasons during his 5-year stint, later took his talents to Golden State as a board member, reporting to new owners Joe Lacob and Peter Guberg, became one of the primary architects to the Dubs dynasty with unparalleled, picture-perfect vision, putting together a strong young core of players with a talented head coach in Steve Kerr to display one of the most dominant eras any team of basketball's ever seen. Before Jerry's arrival, we're talking about a franchise that missed the playoffs each of the previous 4 seasons, missed the postseason 16 of the last 17 years. Instrumental in selecting Klay Thompson 11th overall, Golden State wanted to trade him and Harrison Barnes for Minnesota All-Star Kevin Love, coming off numbers of 26 and 13 back in 2014. Love considered a top 10 player at the time. West even threatened to quit had the Dubs decide to trade Klay Thompson. Ended up staying put, the greatness of the Splash Brothers born. Klay would become one of the most premier 2 guards, immediately made 5 straight All-Star appearances. Just a year later, Golden State won the title. Having starting center Andrew Bogut 3 years prior, it was West that pushed for a trade that included fan favorite Monte Ellis to Milwaukee while bringing the one-time All-NBA center to Dub Nation. Many fans were conflicted between choosing Monte or Steph. Jerry West himself, the one who saw how Golden State had the most to gain, of course, spoke on the phone with KD back in 2016, telling the superstar playing alongside the trio would make things easier for him, and proven right. Durant flawlessly earning 2 Finals MVPs. Had it not been for Mr. West's efforts, KD might still be ringless today. With an undeniable track record, anytime West gives insights to the younger generation, the best thing anyone can do, listen. The 79-year-old then took on the next challenge, hired as a consultant for the decades-long struggling Clippers as Lob City was coming to its close, traded Chris Paul for many role players, Pat Bev, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, and the 2018 first, 3 crucial key guys the next couple years, got rid of aging Jamal Crawford for Danilo Gallinari, shifted Blake Griffin to Detroit for Tobias Harris, Boban, Avery Bradley, and 2 picks. Team still finished above 500 in 2018, used the Miles Bridges pick to trade for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, sensational rookie, helped lead LA back to the playoffs, traded Tobias, not wanting to pay him, for Wilson Chandler, Landry Shamet, and Mike Muscala, moved Moose to the Lakers for Ivica Zubac. July 2019 rolled around, West and the Clippers landed Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard, after their promise made to Kawhi to trade SGA Gallo and 7 first-round picks for Paul George. Team chemistry, however, collapsed in the bubble. West, a huge mentor to GM Lawrence Frank, hired assistant Ty Lue after firing Doc Rivers. Clippers finally reached its first conference finals, ending a 50-year franchise drought. Kawhi's knee injuries last 3 years ultimately prevented the Clips from winning a title. Despite LAC still ringless, Jerry West's presence and knowledge brought plenty success to the franchise. Throughout his time in the league, until his final days, West continued to have undeniable passion for the game, watching Summer League ball, talking to everybody, sharing his knowledge across the association, celebrated as a 3-time Hall of Famer, as player, executive, and considered to be the basis of the NBA logo. For decades, his all-around excellence, extreme wisdom, competitive drive, and perfection in understanding and dominating the game unlike any individual the world's ever came across. A basketball-like bridge drew many generations, from the Bob Cousy, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, all the way to the Victor Wembanyama era. Mr. West, the king of basketball royalty, beloved and respected by all his peers. As a young kid growing up in Cabin Creek of West Virginia, West accomplished his incredible life dreams, reaching the top of the basketball mountains. June 12, 2024, the day Jerry West sent to the basketball heavens, the 86-year-old icon and legend watches upon us, forever missed, always in our hearts, the most influential basketball mind the world will ever know. Jerry West, rest in heaven, you will be missed.